So guys, the Northerners have come out to say that they regret voting Tinubu. They won't repeat the mistake that they made in 2023 come 2027. This is coming from the Northern elders. Nigerians, it don't happen. This is a latest news. So this is not an old news. This is a new headline. We regret voting Tinubu. We won't repeat mistake in 2027. Northern elders, Fume. So guys, it is biting on everybody. The Northerners thought, oh, Peter Obi is an Igbo man. They won't vote for him. You know, there were so many things out there during the election, and those of them that voted, yes, Tinubu got a lot of his votes from the north, not even from the west, not even from the southwest where he came from. Like Lagos, he couldn't win in Lagos. Most of the little votes he got during the election came from the north, and they are saying they are not going to repeat the mistake again. So this man was asked about his take on the situation of things in Nigeria, that Nigerians are hungry, the Northerners are hungry. He said he is happy. Let them buy. That let them buy. He will be happy to see them buy. That he supports Tinubu to continue with the hardship Nigerians are going through. Because if you don't learn your lesson now, next election you are still going to collect money to sell your vote. Let me allow you watch that video.
I have nothing new to say.
People are hungry.
Let them die. It's their fault. Yeah, I'm supporting Tinubu 100%.
You're supporting Tinubu
100% to deal with Nigerians. People like you. So that when next election comes, I will now see whether when people bring money, you will vote for them or you will do your conscience.
So guys, you have seen it for yourself. Honestly, Nigerians are lamenting. So apart from what is happening in the country now, there's this headline that has been trending out there that the Lagos state government is about to demolish a business that the owner said his business is currently worth about $250 million. Nigerians, this is not a small money. I tell you, this man said he invested everything he had. He had to sell all his properties in Europe and in America, and he even borrowed more money to come to Nigeria to do business. The question remains, is it safe to invest in Nigeria? Is it really safe for you to bring your last savings, I mean the totality of your savings, to Nigeria and invest, and tomorrow there won't be stories, or will the policies start biting on you? Honestly, this man bought his land legitimately, and as it stands now, he was given 7 days. He was given 7 days to pack all his properties and leave that venue. Honestly, the man said even his bedroom, he cannot use 7 days to pack out, let alone such a mighty and gigantic, investment. Let me allow you listen for yourself what the man got to say.
The gubernatorial candidate for Lagos State has called on the Lagos State government to carefully consider businesses that have heavily invested in employing locals and contributing taxes while reclaiming land for the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway project. In an open letter to Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu, Doherty highlighted the government's current and planned actions regarding the right-of-way and compulsory property acquisition for the road project, urging a thoughtful approach to avoiding negatively impacting valuable business entities. And one of those valuable business entities is making all the headlines, of course, the Landmark Group. We're of course all aware of that demolition notice that was received by Mr. Paul Owanebe, who's the group CEO of the Landmark Group. He joins us on this holiday to discuss. Good morning, sir. Thank you so much for being here.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
I guess to begin, I have to ask, did Lagos State, was there any discussion around compensation? I would assume there was. Can you clear that up for us? So if it was demolished, if that happened.
There were no formal discussions before the notices were sent out. In several discussions, compensation issues have arisen, and people are aware there protocols and processes for compensation in issues like this. But I want to make it clear this is not an issue of compensation or money. I think whatever decision is made, I think the wisdom of Solomon needs to be applied.
Right.
This needs to be a win-win. I've gone on record, I think the Coastal Road project is a fantastic project. It's there to enhance tourism, not destroy it. I would like to believe that the ladies and gentlemen and people out there have enjoyed Landmark and what we've brought to the nation in terms of several things. I'm sure we'll talk about that later. And I like to believe that it can survive alongside this. Because we are ground zero.
Right.
We're in the first 1.5 kilometers of this 700-kilometer road.
Right. Now, is there a disconnect? Because obviously you got a permit to build there, right? So this is a massive, 200 million plus project. So how is it that this was confusing a lot of people? How could you have gotten a permit to build and then now you're getting a notice that they want to demolish it because of the coastal road?
Well, I'm not sure that's
a question for you.
You know,
Right.
but let me try to put some context.
Yeah.
So we bought the site in 2008.
Right.
Sorry, 2007.
Right.
Right.
That was before Barack Obama came into office.
Hey, that was before Barack Obama
Yeah.
came into office. So it's a long time ago, 17 years.
Yeah.
And over the last 17 years, we've developed that site over stages and tried to provide what we believe is the biggest and the best. But certainly the most visited business, leisure, and lifestyle destination on the West African coast. This has taken time, a lot of money, a lot of effort, and a lot of people, right? You know, we have a staff strength of 3,500 to 4,000 people who have applied themselves. So these are real families. But even more importantly, quite a few years ago, I took my entire team to Dubai just to learn and understand how to put tourism projects like this together. And you know, we've seen the fruit of that labor. So I think that's important. Now, over the period of time, we've had several different developments. So we have sought planning consent, building permits, I think at 4 different times. Once in 2007 when we built the towers, and then when we built the event center, and then when we built our retail boulevard, and lastly when we built the water view apartments, which is currently going up. Yes, everybody's aware, and we have our ducks in a row. And I think, yes, maybe there's some more conversations to be had.
I read your tweets. You know, you put out a long form tweet where you were explaining what's been going on. You did indicate in that tweet that there are ongoing discussions with the Lagos State government, even at the federal level. So what are those talks like? What's the latest?
So they're progressing. They're progressing, and we're speaking obviously to the Federal Ministry of Works. We've engaged with the Federal Ministry of Tourism, Lagos State Ministry of Tourism, Lagos State government at some of the higher levels. We've met with the planning team, the planning commissioner, and the infrastructure team. So those talks go on. In a couple of days, there is a stakeholders meeting as well. So we like to believe, and I say it again, you know, we want the wisdom of Solomon in this, that we want a win-win. We want the road to go ahead, but we do want the consultation and to ensure, and this is not just about us, this is about several of the businesses that I'm sure 700 kilometers down the road, things will have to be sensitively, there has to be some sensitization, and people have to be sensitive towards socioeconomic activity along that route. So those conversations are going on.
Yeah. Okay. Well, something has to happen. Will it go through your? I mean, if okay, look. There's got to be some agreement at some point. It's either this or that. Either Lagos State gets their way, or you get your way, or you come to a mutual agreement. If things, you know, do the coastal road go through your establishment or around, or how would it work?
I know, so I get asked this question a lot, by the way.
Yeah.
So let me just be clear, and again, let me put this into context. So the original alignment of the coastal road was Water Corporation Road. I mean, you had a picture on your screen that actually showed quite clearly the Water Corporation Road, the 2 feeder lanes, and then the median that was meant to house it.
Yeah.
Then there's Landmark, and there's the beach, and there's the sea.
Right.
Right. The alignment was changed from Water Corporation Road to run, so instead of it running on the land side of Landmark, it's going to run on the beach side of Landmark.
Aha,
right?
Okay.
So that's where this issue came up, right? Is that the alignment was changed. Our request is simply go back to the original alignment, nothing wrong with it. What happens today, it runs literally, that's the picture on your screen.
Right.
The Water Corporation Road is by the left, you can see the 2 lanes with the median inside and the middle for the coastal road. Okay. And what should happen is if it goes back to the Water Corporation Road, then it's a win-win for everyone.
That's on the left?
That's on the left.
Okay,
yes.
okay.
They're seeking to put it on the beachfront, on the beach side.
Which is what we're looking at now.
Which is what we're looking at now.
Right.
And it just immediately after Landmark, it turns back and goes back onto the original alignment.
Right, so you could just kept it on the original and just kept the straight road.
That's my plea. That's my request. It saves our business, and it also obviously saves the government what I believe is a lot of money. Yeah. Because there's a stretch of road that you don't have to reclaim land for, you don't have to do all that engineering, and you don't have to destroy businesses or even talk about compensation here.
Yeah, you know, when you say, now I'm starting to get your comment on the wisdom of Solomon. The person who was writing the letter and the notice, you know, and signed it and then sent it over, surely they thought about all this, right? Or it just seems so incredible that they will say, hey, we're going to have to break this thing down.
No, I
you know, it's,
I know, and it's
staggering.
It's staggering because it's draining as well. So that, there's some real life stories behind this.
Yeah.
So I started Landmark 27 years ago.
Yeah.
In the UK and Europe, we've worked in several different countries. We brought Landmark to Lagos in 2003.
Right.
Bought this site in 2007. And the last 17 years, we've put everything into it. And when I say everything, I mean everything into it. So it's touched a lot of lives. Most importantly, it's ripped out my life. But that's fine. This is my life's work. Right. So obviously, it's important that I tell this story and I stay here and sort of defend and figure out a win-win. Now, I have never worked for the government.
Right.
But I can only imagine civil servants have a lot of things to deal with. We are one project amongst many.
Right.
So it's absurd when you see a letter like that says someone has built something over 17 years, employs 3,500 people. There are over 4 million visitors that come here every year, or 3.5 to 4 million visitors that come every year.
Yeah.
And you give them 7 days to evacuate. I couldn't vacate my bedroom in 7 days, right? So I can imagine that many issues are being dealt with. I only have one business to deal with.
Right.
I assume whoever wrote that letter, or whoever signed that letter, whoever gave the order, has a variety of things and treated everything at the same time. I always say to my team, I say, whatever you do in life, right? If you want to be successful, don't treat important things as if they're routine.
Right.
And don't treat routine things as if they're important.
Gotcha.
And you've got to be, you've got to separate those things and be intentional about them.
Yeah.
So this is one of those issues where something important, I think, has been treated as routine.
Gotcha.
And that's where we are. And those are the discussions we need to unravel.
Look, if the road goes through, surely this benefits you. That is going from that is if they kept the original plan with on the left hand side of that, the image would show, because because you got movie theaters, hotels, restaurants, everything, right? For tourism from to and fro, it's a win-win for everyone.
Basically, coastal roads are great. They're great examples of coastal roads across the world. And, I've mentioned them several times. From the Americans to the Asians to Europeans, and even in Africa, there's one that goes around Cape Town and stuff. To be fair, they're usually scenic roads, 2-3 lanes. They dive in and out of the coast, and just depends. But people can have their views on how this one affects. But what a coastal road does, it enhances tourism, it accelerates tourism, it puts tourism in steroids, right? And what it does, it connects the coast, connects different tourism entities, and allows people to move across a city, a country, or a coastline. So this is a fantastic idea. How one can fund it and deliver it and realize it and ensure that it enhances the businesses rather than destroys the businesses along it. But more importantly, we want to, like every other business, I've got so many phone calls. Right. We want to survive. Yeah. And then this coastal road, when it's built, we will thrive. Yeah. But it does take time. The examples in other countries, is 15, 20 years. The American one took 22 years.
Right.
The North Atlantic was 24 years. I think the Cape Town one it's 20% of this one proposed. Right. It was a 15-year project. Even in China, I was reading about one that's I think was about 55 kilometers and took about 3 or 4 years. So these are long-term projects. They take time to develop, and the businesses hopefully evolve while they're developed.
How could this, when we talk about ease of doing business, right, and the lines of communication between government and private enterprise, how could this have been handled differently? Maybe a phone call, Mr. Wanebe, your property is sort of,
You have to have my phone number first, though. So, I don't know, but one does say that when I look at the narrative coming out of the government, both the federal and the state government, they've gone on record. They want to support businesses. They want FDI. We need to find a way to make. There's a cost of living crisis going on as well. Yeah. We need to find a way to make businesses grow, right? So I think we're very consistent with that narrative. We're in that narrative. If organizations like ours are supported, then very much that narrative will flow. So I think there's a genuine effort there, and which is why I'm 100% sure we'll resolve this issue. It's if you look back, and I think we can all look back in the past. I mean, I could look back and say, well, maybe I should have had a government officer sitting in the government offices trying to figure out what's going on around us and stuff. Yeah. We've been buried in dealing with with the growth of our thing. When we came to Nero, we were the only ones.
Right.
The closest thing.
Can you imagine what it looked like 17 years
ago? There was nothing there.
Just
no, nothing.
Bush land.
It was Morocco, right?
Right.
It was nothing.
Yeah.
Yes. So there was palms on one side, ExxonMobil on the other, and Zenith Bank were the closest things to us in terms of buildings. So there was nothing.
And now look what you've turned it into.
So over that period of time, and we've been obsessed.
Yeah.
To be fair.
Yeah.
So we haven't really had the time and energy to look outside our box. So there are many things that we could have done differently, I think, just in terms of liaison. On the government side, obviously there are just so many different organizations that are liaising with. I mean, this physical environment, this built environment is real, right? That's why it's called real estate.
Exactly.
It's real. So so one has to figure out how to make sure unforced errors like this.
So guys, honestly, Nigeria is a funny place to be. Nigeria is funny, honestly. These people do not even consider businesses. Other countries of the world, businessmen are like their number one. They consider them, they help them, they support them. When a business is about to collapse, the government comes in to know if there are areas they are going to help you and all that. But in Nigeria, the reverse is the case. So guys, I don't know what you make of all this in the comment section below. Just drop your thought there. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell. Thank you.